No, I started with actually, I came here, sat in the chair right where that gentleman is over there, about 35 rows up, for those of you who aren't here. And I watched Steve make ice cream, just like you all are. And probably like you all, I left here saying I can do better. I can make better ice cream than that. In no difference to him, he's a machine maker, and he makes the world's finest machine. There's just no argument about that. Well, I thought I could make better ice cream. So I bought a countertop unit.
Not that one, the next one over there.
This one, that's right, a countertop unit. And I had it installed in my kitchen. The truck comes, the lift gate goes down, the guy wheels it in, and I realize I can't plug it in. It's 220. So I had called up an electrician. I had them put a 220 line in my kitchen. I bought a tarp. I covered the entire floor, taped it around, and I started experimenting. I bought all the books, but I didn't care for the method that they used. So I went shopping, and I started buying things in the supermarket: peanut butter, Oreos, all sorts of stuff. And then I started making ice cream. Now, it happened to have been in December a few years ago, and one of the first things I started experimenting with was champagne, because New Year's Eve was approaching. Well, I came up with a champagne ice cream that is ridiculously good. And we were invited to a New Year's Eve party, and I brought a 3-gallon tub of champagne ice cream. And it was an incredible hit. And I knew right then that I can be in the business. So I perfected the formula on that. I went from there to wines. I use liqueurs. That's why it's an adult ice cream store. And then also I made other things. I make the world's best coconut ice cream from supermarket products with real coconut. And it's just ridiculous. Now I added our own homemade fudge swirl to it, and it became Mounds Bar. So anyway, we've got at any time 32, 35 flavors of homemade ice cream all the time. About half of them are adult flavors, half of them aren't. And when I started, I took Steve's advice, although he doesn't mention this anymore, but Steve used to tell you that you should go and market your product to restaurants, hotels, country clubs. So that's what I did. From my kitchen, I moved into a room in the back of a gym. It was 8 feet by 10 feet. And you had to walk through the gym to get to my little room. And I had a sink. Now, this is a true story. I had a dental sink. It was 9 inches by 9 inches square. That was my sink. And I had the ice cream machine and a refrigerator freezer that I bought at a flea market. And I took my product and I went to restaurants. And they loved it. And they said, yes, we'll take it, we'll serve it. So I built up an account of, say, 5 popular restaurants. Most of them were Italian. One was a chicken wing place, popular, but the Italian restaurants. And then my job was to keep them filled in. So I would give them, say, 3 flavors each, and 3 times a week I would go around and check the product to see if they needed more. Well, don't you know that every time I went to check the product, it had frost on it, the covers weren't on it, the scoop was laying there looking very bad. They just weren't taking care of it because the servers were younger girls or guys, and they didn't care. They didn't know how to handle ice cream. And I was getting very discouraged because my product was being ruined. I would take out the frosty one, put a new one in at my expense, because you can't charge them for it. So after about a month of that, I didn't want to do it anymore. I closed all the accounts, I took all the ice cream out. And here I am in an 8-foot by 10-foot room. You hear that? You can almost tell when it's ready.
It's slapping against the sides of the
and it's
cover.
Almost ready. So then I figured out, well, I've got this investment in a machine. I'm paying $400 a month for this room in the back of a gym, and I better make some money. So word of mouth was spreading because I was giving everybody in the gym ice cream to take home, and people were realizing I was there. And I put a sign out front, one of those sandwich signs. I put it on the street that we have ice cream. And people started coming in, almost. So here I am in a 10-foot by 8-foot room. People are walking through the gym to buy ice cream cones and little dishes of ice cream that I was selling for three prices: $2, $3, and $5. You can guess what I sold the most of. And that wasn't cutting it. So I decided to, it was pretty good traffic coming through the gym to my little room there. So I asked the landlord, can I have the front so I have a door to my little ice cream business? And he did. He doubled my rent. I went from $400 to $800, and he gave me the 2 doors 7 feet back, and I had a counter. And that was my store. It was 7 feet from the door to me, and I had the room in the back to make product. Now I got to tell you, this is not on a main street. This is off the beaten path, and we'll get into that in a minute. It's one of the notes I made before when the guys were talking. Okay,